Yes, and then I said, let's do a second thing costume. I know, right? Yeah, and Reed? Never heard of him. I don't know who that is. Anyway, I'll call you back. All right, later. Hey, what's up, everybody? Didn't see you there. Probably because I'm wearing Loot Crate Minecraft glasses from like 15 years ago, and I don't wear contacts, so I don't have my glasses on and I can't see anything. But today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to review summer skins, aka costumes. I'm going to try to call them costumes for the whole video, try to make that more of a thing than saying skins. So yeah, we're going to talk about the summer costumes for both Wave 1 and Wave 2, as well as the other sunshine costumes that came out. Beforehand, you can see my OBS and my reflection, but I will be at times reading off script because I'm not very good at these videos that I'm actually in. But yeah, I bought a Hawaiian shirt for this video, so let's get into the reviews. Alright, so the way we're going to be doing this is going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to review every single costume that they released for summer, including Sunshine and all the ones in both Wave 1 and Wave 2. I'll be breaking down each one individually, as well as giving ratings on each costume. And then we will be also comparing Wave 1 to Wave 2. I know it's a little bit of a weird thing because you can't actually get Wave 1 right now. You can only get Wave 2. But I'm sure they're going to run them back at some point. So hopefully people see this video in the future if they bring back Wave 1 and they compare the two. The other thing I'm going to do is I'll do a top 5, my favorite of the costumes at the very end of the video. Strictly my opinion. So take it as you will. It is just strictly what I think. You may think differently. Feel free to tell me in the comments, and let's get into it. Alright, the first costume we're going to talk about is the one for Squirrel Girl. This one is called Sunshine Squirrel. There's no special intro animation for it, but it looks pretty nice overall, I think. Probably not my favorite Squirrel Girl costume, but it's pretty nice. I like the Doreen on the visor. I like the way Tippy Toe looks, especially with this little floaty device on his back. We got the MVP, which is here. A lot of people liked a certain part of this MVP. I'll let you guess what it is, but I think it's a pretty nice one. It's not anything super fancy, super special. I think they could probably do a better job with some of her costumes going forward, but overall, not a bad one. This particular emote, I remember when the symbiote one came out. Yeah, spray's pretty cool. I'm not going to go too much into detail on like emotes and sprays and things like that, but I do want to hop in practice range and just talk about how there's not really, there actually is no special sound effects with this costume. If you're looking for nice sounding sound effects for Squirrel Girl, I think the best one is still the punk skin, even though I'm not a huge fan of that outfit. I think the punk one is probably her best sound effects in the game. But this one, I mean, it looks nice. It's not bad. As far as summer skins go, I don't think it's my... I wouldn't even put it like in my top 5. It probably won't make it in the list at the end of this video. But I'm going to rate it a 6 out of 10. Next up, we're going to talk about Rocket Raccoon and his costume for the summertime, which is called Sunshine Raccoon. Has a pretty cool intro with Amazing Baby there and some little creatures inside of his jetpack, which is pretty cool. He's got like a squid and a goldfish in there, I believe. I think this costume is pretty cool. This was probably the hardest one for me to rate personally. There's parts of it I really like, but as far as like the other summer skins go, I didn't really like it as much as some of the other ones, but it does have recolors. The Squirrel Girl one did not have any. The cool thing about Rocket's recolors is that it changes his shirt. This one has like a little duck on it. This is what the default one looks like. And then this one's probably my favorite, even though it doesn't have any special designs on it. It's called Blue Bell Breeze. I'm a big blue person. I really like the color blue, even though I'm colorblind. That is my favorite color, so you're going to see me talking a lot about the blue versions of these costumes going forward. But yeah, this one was a tough one to judge. It's got a pretty neat MVP. I personally never get MVP on Rocket, so I will probably never actually see this in-game when I'm the one playing Rocket. But I think it's a pretty cool MVP nonetheless. And the other thing that's really cool about this costume, this is actually the emote for it, even though it's called Holiday Havoc, which is kind of weird. I don't remember exactly the time frame that this came out. I know it was one of the earlier summer costumes, but I don't really know why it's called Holiday Havoc. I guess just because they're on holiday, I guess. But I'll show it in game. The skin is hilarious with the big head mode emote because Amazing Baby also becomes gigantic. So I just think that was kind of funny. But let's talk about abilities and sound effects. His is a legendary, so just about everything has sound effects. The heal ball is really, really satisfying on this costume. The heal noise doesn't really change. The other cool thing, which is kind of the same for almost all of Rocket's costumes, it's hard for me, I'm telling you. His E and his ultimate always change on every single one of his costumes, even just like the basic recolors, the default recolors, stuff like that. His E is always different if you look at all of the costumes. This one, I remember when the costume came out, a lot of people were wondering if the E would be easier to see because of how it looks on this costume. I was thinking about this while I was writing the script for this video, or just like thinking about the concept of this video. I don't really remember any instance where I'm like, oh, I could see the rocket beacon easier because he's wearing the summer skin. I don't think that ended up really being a thing. I remember people were worried about it. Maybe it's just my experience, but yeah. The other thing we got to talk about is the ultimate. Ultimate looks pretty neat in this. It's got kind of like this summery vibe to it. Looks pretty cool. I mean, it's nice. I do like the costume overall. Like I said, it was the toughest one for me to decide. Here's Amazing Baby with big head mode. Looks pretty funny. Some of the big head mode emotes, they just like talk a lot. I don't know if Rocket always does. I guess Rocket just always kind of is yapping. But yeah, so my rating for this costume ended up being a 7 out of 10. Probably a little bit of a controversial one. I bet there's people that really, really like this costume. But 7 out of 10 for me on this one. I do like it. I do like it. It's just I couldn't bring myself to go higher than a 7. So 7 out of 10. Next up, we're going to talk about everybody's favorite land shark, Jeff, and his summer costume. This one has an intro. Pretty cool one at that. Overall, I like the little tiny hat on his head. I don't know if I really necessarily love the costume. I don't think it's too bad. He's kind of got a rocket thing going on where the outfit changes based on the color. This one does have an ultimate ability, which is another thing to take into consideration. Probably one of the best ultimate ability changes so far that we've seen. The MVP is pretty cool with the little pictures being taken. But overall, I don't know. I don't really love this one. I think it's because of the way they change his skin. Like the way his skin, I feel like the colors don't really go well with the skin choices. And I don't mean skin as in like costume versus skin. I mean like his actual shark skin. In some of these, I think this one's probably the best one. As I said, blue is going to pop up a lot. I do really like the lines on him here, which is not on the other colors. So like it kind of gives him more of like that tiger shark look. And I think that's really cool. If I had to pick one, this is probably the best one of the bunch. But let's see it in game, in action, in the practice range here. So there's definitely some sound effect changes. Overall, it does sound pretty good, this one. Has some satisfying noises, the reload with the little squeaky squeaky noise when he bites the fish. It's not too bad. Let me swap over to the... I still think this is the best color for this one. See, like, look at the stripes on his back and his tail. It just looks so much better than the other ones. I kind of wish that was on all of them. I mean, it makes this recolor somewhat unique, but I don't know. I kind of just wish it was on all of the recolors for this one. But yeah, the sound effects are pretty satisfying. The ultimate VFX is pretty good. Overall, I have decided to give this one a 7 out of 10. Same as Rocket. I not a huge Rocket and Jeff guy. I don't have anything like against them. I just don't really play them a lot. The other thing is his feet, his little land shark feet. I don't know if it's like that on all the. Yeah, it does kind of stay the same on all of the recolors, but it also looks the best in the blue one. So I'd say the blue recolor, like if this was the default look and they just recolored this and changed the style of the shirts like Rocket, I might have been more inclined to give him a higher score. I don't know. I think it still would have been a 7 out of 10 just because I don't really play Jeff or Rocket that much, but still, nice looking outfits. It's not for me. 7 out of 10. Speaking of Jeff, over on Marvel Unlimited, there's a nice little deal going on this week. You can celebrate everyone's favorite land shark by reading an all-new Marvel Unlimited exclusive series with new issues launching daily from September 22nd to September 26th. Fans can read new Jeff stories along with over 30,000 more digital comics on Marvel Unlimited, including an all-new season of Marvel Rivals content. New users can get 50% off their first month with code JeffWeek in all capitals. That code will be valid from September 22nd all the way till September 28th. I'll put links to that in the description and in a pinned comment down below if anybody's interested in grabbing that this week while the offer exists. This video is from 2025 if anybody sees this in the far off future. But the other cool thing they're doing over on Marvel Unlimited is they are making essentially like comic versions of playlists. They're called reading lists, and it's done by character, but because of Marvel Rivals, it is being done by role. So they have a duelist character list or reading list that will pull up all your comics for Magic and Spider-Man and all the duelists in the game that everybody loves, as well as strategists having their own list and vanguards. I'll put links to all that stuff in the description and in a pinned comment, so be sure to check that out if that's something that interests you. And go check out Marvel Unlimited if you haven't already, because they tend to do a lot of little exclusives for Marvel Rivals on there, like that Marvel Unlimited Thing costume. We also got a couple of sprays and things like that, so be sure to check it out if you haven't yet already. If you didn't already know, Marvel Unlimited is a one-stop destination for over 30,000 comics spanning the entire Marvel universe. The app is available for iPhone, iPad, Android devices, and on the web. All right, next up, we're going to jump into the summer special event Wave 1 set of summer costumes, which kicked off with The Thing. This was an interesting one, right? Because we didn't know we were getting a second Thing costume at this point. We just thought we were getting the thong, right? Which was a big meme. Everybody was laughing it up. Ha ha ha, they're never going to add this. And then they did. I have a couple of issues with this costume. I don't necessarily love it. I thought it was funny that they included the meme, but I kind of feel like, you know, he's just a rock guy. I don't know if they're not allowed to do it, but this isn't a thong. So, like, I get it. I get what they were going for. I appreciate them acknowledging the meme. I just, like, if you're going to go for it, you know? I don't think anybody would have cared. Like, maybe they have other rules that they have to abide by. They could have just straight up put the thing in a thong, but yeah, it just doesn't hit as well for me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but yeah, it is what it is. It's funny that they did it. I respect that they did it. It doesn't have an intro. It doesn't have an MVP. It does have a really cool emote though. It has the reading emote, which if you've been keeping up with your Marvel Rivals memes, people like to go into Doom Match, I believe, and use all of the like reading emotes at once and just have like a book club kind of meeting. That's pretty funny. It is a cool emote. I don't know if it's enough for me to really care too much about the skin, which is why I have given it a 2. A 2 out of 10. I don't think you'll see any harsher ratings than that on this list, but yeah, I still think it's crazy that we got 2 costumes for the Thing and not a single one for Mr. Fantastic, but I'm just judging them individually, and if I have to judge this Thing costume on its own, 2 out of 10. Sorry, Thing fans and Thing mains, 2 out of 10. Not even gonna take them in the practice range. No sound effects or anything like that. What you see is what you get. While we're not going to go that harsh on the other summer costumes, I am going to be a little harsh on some of these other ones. The Thor one is the one we're going to talk about next. This was like the middle costume within that little mini pass that we got, and it's a pretty nice Thor costume. We can get one recolor with it. I do prefer this one because it is also blue, but yeah, I don't know. I have some people in my chat when I stream, and I know Cab, my mod, also gets on me for picking on hair specifically, but I mean, I'll be excited when they add Infinity War Thor, who does have short hair, but I prefer Thor with the long hair. So him having short hair on this costume doesn't really do it for me. I do like the tats. I think the tattoos are pretty cool. The little brother and sister kind of plushies in the what looks almost like a lunch bag kind of thing is cool. But let's be real. I mean, the big draw of this one. Hold on, I'll talk about no intro. It does have the shared MVP with Loki, which is pretty cool. It does change if you change them to the other recolors, only specifically to that skin though, as far as I remember. So let me check. I mean, this isn't really like a make or break thing, but yeah, if you switch, oh no, it is specific. The new ones that just came out in the Wave 2 are not specific. Like if you change, you know, like that new intro with like all 4 of the characters together in the new Wave 2 stuff, if you change them specifically, I don't think the intro changes unless they fix that. But what I was going to say about this one is the main draw of it is the frog sound effect with Throg. If you swing the hammer, is kind of like the main selling point of this costume, because there's really no other sound effects on it, like even Awaken Rune, no sound effects. The main draw is that. The main draw is the frog noise when you swing the hammer. If you find this funny or you find this cool, then I mean, this is probably the costume for you. But for me, it just like it's funny. I like it. I just prefer like the more serious Thor costumes, I guess. So if you like Throg and you like swinging the frog around, this might be for you. But for me, it is a 5 out of 10. A little harsh. Not as harsh as the Sunshine thing, but 5 out of 10. She was just standing across from us in the practice range as Thor, and now we're going to talk about Luna Snow. This Luna costume kind of took us all by surprise, I think. Well, not surprise. I think we could all guess that she was probably going to get a summer costume. They did tease it in the comic and stuff. I think we weren't expecting the I'll let the intro finish while I kind of decide how I want to talk about this. I don't think we were expecting the buffs that Luna received with this costume. She does have some pretty cool recolor looks here. Sorry for all the ums and the ohs. Pretty cool ultimate VFX. I will show this in the practice range, kind of like how they're showing it here, but the little crystal jellyfish thing is where it's at with that VFX. The MVP has a really cool ending part where she turns around. Yeah, pretty cool splash art. But I don't know. I mean, I like it. I'm not a big Luna Snow fan, I guess. But as far as her costumes go, it is one of the better ones. I think the most satisfying part about it, because it is a legendary, is the ice skating noise. Is very satisfying. I was trying to be quiet so you could hear it, but it's very, very satisfying. Like, just the actual skating in this costume feels and sounds really nice. So, that's a good selling point for it. I think the rest of the sound effects are okay. Nothing super, super exciting for me. But yeah, the ultimate VFX, like I said, the crystal jellyfish that comes out and all the fish swimming around, it's pretty cool. I like it. I mean, if I'm going to be playing her, I will be using this costume over her other ones. I do like it enough for that. But as far as all of the summer skins go, I don't think it hits the mark quite as much as some of the other ones do for me. So I am going to be giving this one a 7 out of 10. All right, next one coming up here is Loki. So we got to talk about Loki. His is called Robe of Relaxation. This one also kind of took me a little bit by surprise. I didn't think I would love a Loki summer costume design quite this much, but I actually really do like this one. Specifically, the alligator Loki theme that it has going on throughout, between the shoes that he's wearing, the style of the robe, the alligator straight up around his neck, and the emote, as well as the staff too. He kept making it disappear, so I forgot about it. But no intro on it. The MVP is the same as the Thor one. It's just the Loki side of it, which is it's fine. Them having a shared one, I think, is okay. I think it's a funny MVP. He's basically doing like the pure cinema kind of look at the end there. But overall, I do really like this one. I didn't think I would like it. Like, conceptually, I don't think if you told me, oh, they're adding a summer Loki costume, I would have been like super excited necessarily. But once I saw the concept art that they showed in the comic, I did really, really like it. I do like doing the emo with 3 of my clones out in the lobby. Yeah. Overall, pretty nice costume. Alligator Loki has some shades on during this part. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I actually really like this one. Maybe people will call me crazy for picking this one over or rating this one higher than Luna, but I don't know. I really like the Loki one. I think it's one of the better ones out of all of the ones they've released so far. So 8 out of 10. My highest rating so far, but I think the next one we talk about here is going to dethrone that, because the next one, going in order from wave 1, which we have covered every costume in that set except one, you could probably figure out which is one of the ones I think is the best, is Psylocke. Now, when they launched this costume, this intro animation had no sound. So like, if you go back and watch my showcase for it, there was no sound for this, but they eventually added it in. And I mean, Psylocke is tough to beat design-wise. I mean, she looks really, really good in this game in general. You throw in something like this with some really nice recolors. The Loki costume does have one recolor. I forgot to show it. It kind of matches Thor a little bit. I could show it real quick, but kind of matches the Thor one. Like, if you put them both in this and run the MVP, it looks pretty nice. But yeah, Psylocke, I mean, you could probably guess which color I like the best for her. Granted, it's not blue. I am colorblind, as I said. I do like this kind of darker violet look, because it's kind of close to blue in my eyes, because I'm colorblind. Yeah, I totally forgot it was called Violet Veil, by the way. I thought it was blue, for reals. Either way, tough to beat Psylocke. I mean, her design is so sick in this game. I've liked it since day one, even with the default. So for me, she is just one of the best designs in the game, and her summer look did not disappoint. I mean, this thing had to have sold a lot of bundles because she was bundled with Loki for the featured costumes, while Luna was in the pass. So really tough to beat this one. She's got a nice little swinging on the swing set. emote where she actually has a smile on her face. She finally gets to be happy for a couple of seconds. So yeah, I think this one is probably the best summer costume we've gotten so far. I think it's up for debate. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that like Luna. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like the new Invisible Woman one, or the Mantis one even. But for me, this, I'm kind of spoiling the top 5 list later, but this is probably the best of the bunch. And then on top of that, it gets an ultimate VFX, which is pretty nice. Not, I'd say that's probably the weakest part of the costume. The icon in the bottom right is nice. It's the overall animation, I think, could have been a little bit better for her ultimate VFX, but it's still pretty nice. It's not like anything super crazy. I think the Luna one is probably the best of the ones we've seen for the ultimate VFX. As of the making of this video, the Invisible Woman VFX and Punisher ones are not in the game, but they were shown to us in the trailers, so we've seen what those look like. I'd probably say Luna's is still the best, even with after seeing those. But if I had to pick like one bad thing about this costume, and probably the reason why it doesn't get a 10 out of 10 for me, is the ultimate VFX could have been a little bit better. But I like just about everything else about the skin, which is why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I do really like just about everything. The look, the style of the bikini, the shoes, the way the katana looks is really sick. It's probably the best of the bunch. All right, now we're jumping over to the current ones that are currently in the shop right now. You can get the pass right now. You can get the featured costumes for these guys right now. We're going to talk about Wave 2, which we're going to kick it off with the Thing again. This time he does get a recolor. The recolor is not too bad. This shirt reminds me of Cobra Kai for some reason. I don't really know why. It just reminds me of like old school 80s vibe. I don't know. It reminds me of Cobra Kai for some reason. It's the colors probably, but yeah, Rocky Tide has a pretty good emote again. The Thing got some pretty good emotes. The MVP is not too bad. Yeah, I mean, it's alright. But the emote is really good. The emote where he plays the guitar, which, sorry, the ukulele. It's good, you know? I like it. I like the emote. Overall, I think it's nicer. It's nicer than the thong, obviously, because the thong was kind of rushed out. This one, you could tell that they worked on it for a bit. I don't know. I'm almost taking points away because they didn't give Reed one. It's probably unfair to the Thing, but I feel like I'm just taking points off of this one because he got 2 and Reed didn't get any. No sound effects or anything on it. It's really just the emote, the MVP, the look, and yeah, the fact that Reed didn't get one is being factored in, even though it probably shouldn't be. But overall, I give this one a 4 out of 10. I think the Thing has better costumes. I think he shouldn't have got 2. Even if they had this one planned and ready to go, I think they should have moved it to maybe next year, because I'm sure they'll run back summer skins and costumes and bikinis and maybe even the Sunshine line again at some point. I think they should have saved it for next year and tried to squeeze in a Mr. Fantastic one. A lot of people on like Reddit and stuff like that were saying they should have, if they didn't want to straight up give him like a summer costume because he's supposed to be working on fixing the time stream entanglement and all that, it would have been funny if like his summer costume was just him in like a lab coat still working. I think that would have been funny. A lot of people said he should have been like the Invisible Woman's costume, which is a little ridiculous even for this game. And other people said he should have just been like the surfboard like he is in the one comic cover, I believe it is, as like an emote for Invisible Woman. I think that would have been pretty funny, but Justice for Reed. I don't know. 4 out of 10 for this one. The thing got like 7 costumes in a row recently. It's crazy. They could have hooked up Reed with one. All right, next one. This might be the most controversial one for me. Maybe. I don't know. I'm saying that about a couple of these costumes now that I'm like saying everything out loud. But this one, I think it's his best costume in the game. Funny enough, I think this is his best costume in the game right now. The other ones are not really super exciting to me. I think the recolor is really nice. I'm actually going to equip that for the little mini showcasing of the costumes I'm going to do right now. MVP with Punisher is pretty funny. I think this is animated really well. It looks cool. Johnny looks really cool. I think this should have been the costume. Because in the comic that these are loosely based off of, I don't think they were necessarily directly pulling them out of the comic for the game. But the costume in the comic, he doesn't have the shirt on. And the shirt is designed really cool. Like, I think the shirt looks really nice. Also, I forgot to talk about it in the hero profile, but the little, like, Jeff plushie thing on his waist is cool. But, in the comic, he has just, like, the shorts on. And that's it. Like, he's basically, like, no shirt, nothing else on but the like, swim trunks. And I feel like that's really fitting for him. What is cool is the shirt comes off when he ults, and it just makes me wish he looked like this the whole time, you know? Like, I think he should have just been shirtless. I don't hate the shirt, I just think overall it would have been a better costume with less clothing for some reason, but the main thing that kills the score for me on this is the socks and the sandals. I'm not feeling it. Like, the socks are high up. The sand, I don't know what the decision was there. I think I would have preferred him just be like barefoot. I don't know if there's like a reason why he needs socks and sandals. I'm not understanding the design choice there. But overall, I still think it's his best costume. And despite everything I said about it being his best and liking it for the most part, minus the socks and the sandals and the shirt, 6 out of 10 for me. A little bit of a harsh rating maybe, but 6 out of 10. I think it's his best costume. I just think he needs better costumes in general. If this is his best, and I'm still giving it a 6 out of 10. You know what I mean? So hopefully he gets some better ones in the future, but no sound effects. It is an epic, so no sound effects. Does have the recolor, which is this one, which is pretty nice. The shirt popping off or burning off when he ults is the big cool part of this costume, but yeah, overall, the socks and the sandals just kill it. It just kills it for me. I'm sorry. If you like that style, you know, good for you. I just it ruins the costume for me. 6 out of 10. All right, next up we have Mantis. This is almost like another sleeper one for me. I wasn't expecting to like this one as much as I did. I've always thought Mantis has had some really, really cool costumes in this game, so I'm not really surprised that this costume ended up really, really nice. I just didn't think I would like it as much as I did. I haven't really played Mantis too much since the beginning of the game. Like, Season 0, I played her a lot. I got her to, like, Captain in Season 0, and then, like, I never played her again. And playing her recently for the showcase for this and the 1 hour that's on Hours of Starlight, my other channel. If you haven't subscribed to that yet, I'd appreciate it. But playing her for the showcase and the gameplay stuff that I have done, I'm kind of starting to like her again. I don't think I would run her in like competitive without 3 support or anything like that, but I am really enjoying playing her in quick play when I'm not getting chased by, you know, a thing, Captain America, Black Panther, and Spider-Man for the entire game with 0 help. But I'm enjoying playing her again. I actually was able to, even though it says available from September 25th for her ultimate ability, I bought all these at 5 in the morning when they went live, and it actually let me buy the ultimate ability. So even though I can't click on it, I will be able to show it in the practice range, though the detail might not be as polished when it goes live for everybody on the 25th, but ironically, I do have it and can use it, even though nobody else can. She's the only character I have a crosshair for, by the way, because I am really bad at hitting her primary. But yeah, so I have the ultimate effect for this, even though nobody else can buy it right now. So I'm sure other people probably snuck in and bought it at 5 a.m. when it went live, but yeah. It's not available right now until the 25th, but I can show it to you here at the practice range. Looks pretty nice. Sound effects. I don't play Mantis enough recently to really hear the difference myself, but sleep. I always like that the Mantis that comes out to put people to sleep matches her skin, which is cool. Her ultimate ability and everything looks, I mean, it looks cool. I really vibe with this. I kind of like it, and I made a YouTube short about the fact that her feet look dirty in the skin. I don't think that's intentional because no other character with bare feet have dirty feet. So I made a short about it. I did not think it was gonna. It got like 24,000 views on TikTok, almost. No regrets. It's kind of a weird thing to make a video about, but you know, I know my audience, so yeah. But yeah, my rating is a 9 out of 10 on this one as well. So Psylocke and Mantis so far, my only 9s, but 9 out of 10. I really like this one. I think it's got really cool details, pretty cool sound effects, even if I can't right away tell the differences sometimes. Recolors are really nice. I like this one the best, obviously, but I thought the third recolor was a little bit weird in the dual colors, almost like Luna usually has. But I still think it looks really nice. But I think this blue one is probably my favorite one. And yeah, 9 out of 10 for this one. Alright, next up we gotta talk about my man Frank Castle as soon as I can find him. Alphabetical order. Oh, he's down there. I have him in the recolor and I couldn't recognize him. Yeah, so 3 recolors on this one. I mean, the concept of this costume is just great. I mean, the Super Soaker thing going on. They gave him the like skull cod piece that he wears in the comics. I had no idea that was a thing. They gave him like the little skull cod piece, which is pretty funny. He has worn that in the comics before. You could look it up. That's a thing. I don't really get what this is. This just supposed to be like a protein shaker thing? I don't know. The liquid doesn't look like water in any of his costumes. I think this version of Frank has some super soldier serum to keep him alive. So maybe that's what they were going for there. I'm not really sure. Not really sure the camera thing. I don't know if that's a comic thing. This camera on his shoulder is what he melees with instead of the knife. And it makes like a little camera noise. But speaking of the noises for this costume, I mean, this might be some of the best sound effects in the entire game. Period. Like, the Super Soaker style, like water gun noise is great. The shotgun. First of all, switching weapons. That noise is very satisfying to me. The shotgun. It makes a different noise when you run out of ammo. It's got kind of like that charging reload sound effect to it, but if you just manually reload it, we get down to like 1. It's got like that soda popping. Shout out to K-pop Demon Hunters, but that's got like the glass filling up noise. I mean, the sound effects on this costume are just light years ahead of like all the other costumes in the game. Like, if you're a sound effects guy, like this is just where it's at. So the thing I messed up the most in the showcase for this, I usually try to get images of the front of the turret, like what the enemies would see. And I forgot to put that in the showcase. I'm sorry about that. I'll throw some pictures up in a post for that if you're curious about that. But the turret sound effects are satisfying. The turret look is very like Borderlands to me. Timing is pretty good with Borderlands 4, I guess. But yeah, just overall, the ultimate VFX is not in the game until September 25th. Sound effects are awesome on this costume. Overall, I don't really love the actual costume itself, but the sound effects, the theme of it, and just like the Nerf guns and water gun noises and stuff, push it up to an 8 out of 10 for me. Even though the actual costume, like what Frank is actually wearing, I'm not like super crazy about, but there's no denying how good the sound effects are. It's just the sound effects are too good to ignore. So 8 out of 10. And then last but certainly not least, we got Invisible Woman. I'm gonna just skip this time, but I mean, it's a great looking costume. It's great. I really like it. Don't know how I feel about her hair in this costume. I mean, it looks good. Everything looks pretty good on this costume. I mean, there's really no denying how good it looks. The recolors are pretty nice. I especially like this one. I kind of like her with the darker hair. I don't really love this one too much. I think this one's a little too bright for me, but I think the darker hair one, this is probably my favorite of the bunch. If you're not trying to blend in with the Emmas and the Daggers of the world for tactical advantage, I think this is the one to go. And like, her ultimate ability is not in the game yet. It was in the trailer, like I've been saying, but I'm honestly like I'm trying not to be weird when I say this. I promise. I know starting with that is going to make people think that I'm weird, but there's just something about the amount of effort and detail put into her and Mantis's feet. Okay, I'm not trying to be weird. I promise. It's just I've never seen feet this detailed in a video game before. I'm not trying to be weird. I promise. It's just they put a lot of effort into the feet for those two costumes. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I know I mentioned Mantis' dirty feet. I'm talking about the design. Whatever. All right, judge me if you want, but they put a lot of detail into it. Anyway, emote is pretty cool for this one. I do like the lounge chair thing going on. MVP is pretty cool with Herbie and Johnny being involved. Somebody did mention in my comments section, I apologize, I don't remember the name of the person who did. Somebody was saying we should have an option to put the glasses up or down, like she has them up in the MVP. I think that would have been a sick toggle if that was something that they could add maybe in the future. I think it would be cool if we could put her sunglasses up or down. But overall, I mean, it's a really nice skin. The sound effects are really nice. Overall, yeah, it came in a perfect time because I've been playing her a little bit more in competitive. So I'm probably gonna, now that Luna is Lord and Cloak and Dagger are Lord, I think it's time for me to start my my Invisible Woman arc. But people have been giving me a lot of tips and tricks for her on stream and everything. I do not have the special effects yet because that isn't out yet, but overall I think it's just a really nice costume. One of her better ones for sure. I just broke that pot really weird. My rating for this costume is might be a controversial one as well now that I just finished hyping it up for as long as I did. My rating for this one is actually a 7 out of 10. I know, like, after I just hyped it up, I didn't even give it an 8. It is a really nice costume. I just, compared to Mantis, Psylocke, the way Loki looks, and Punisher, I actually think this is a 7. I'd put this on par with the Luna Snow one. So, I gave Luna a 7. Visible Woman gets a 7. They're nice. I don't think they're quite as nice as some of the other ones, though they're still really cool. Like I said, just my opinion. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, but her and Luna are like on the same level to me, and that's that. And now that we've talked about all of that in extensive detail, maybe I could have been more detailed. This is my first one doing these. I would like to do one for the overall Season 4 Battle Pass and give my thoughts on that. Let me know in the comments down below any feedback so that I can make the next one better. But now it's time to talk about everything in general, more of a generalized opinion on things. So I'm going to compare Wave 1 to Wave 2. So Wave 1 was the thong. And I have it all written down. Hold on. We got the thong. Sorry. Sunshine thing. Sunshine squirrel. Sunshine raccoon. Sunshine land shark. We got Thor with the worthy waves. We got Luna Snow. We got Loki and Psylocke versus Wave 2, which was the second thing costume. Human Torch, Mantis, the Punisher, and Invisible Woman. Based on my ratings, you could probably figure it out, but I am going with Wave 1 over Wave 2. I really hope that they run it back for anybody that missed out on Wave 1. The Psylocke and Loki costumes were kind of the highlight, bringing that one just above Wave 2 in my opinion. The Wave 2 is really, really nice. Highly recommend you grab those costumes if you like them because they're limited time, just like Wave 1 was. And I'm hoping that when they run them back, it'll be more of like they run them back with some recolors maybe, or just like spice it up a little bit if they do run them back. Overall, my top 5 costumes for the summer batch that we got here in 2025. I'm hoping we get more next year, especially an Emma one. I can't believe Emma and Jean Grey got snubbed, but hopefully they get ones. Hopefully Reed gets one finally next year. But my top 5 overall for what we have currently, I have at number 5 Invisible Woman. I have at number 4 The Punisher. Number 3 Loki. Number 2 Mantis. And number 1 Psylocke. You probably could have figured out a lot of that just based on my ratings, but I felt like just throwing them in a list at the end. Anyway, with some honorable mentions to Luna, who I give the same score as Invisible Woman, so either one of them could probably be number 5. I went with Invisible Woman just because I think her costume looks better overall, and I really like it. And Rocket, honorable mention, because Rocket's got some really cool things going for him. I just don't necessarily love him as a character. So not that I hate him. Like I don't want all the Rocket mains coming after me. I don't hate him. I just when I look at these costumes when they come out, like I don't get as excited for a Rocket costume as I would for like Psylocke or Emma or Captain America, Scarlet Witch, etc. So that's how I did it. Let me know if I should do it differently next time. I am going to work on a video similar to this for the Season 4 Battle Pass. If you like this sort of thing, if you like me doing weird things like buying a Hawaiian shirt literally just for this video. I do kind of like it though, I'm not going to lie. Let me know in the comments. All your feedback really helps me when making the next video, so I appreciate it. I check every single comment that I get, so I'll see it. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.